With the inauguration of Donald Trump, lots of changes have happened and very rapidly. Some of which, from my point of view, are bad things, while others of which are good things. For example, so many people not only in the USA but all over the world are now becoming politically involved, which I think is a great thing. However, there is a caveat to its potential greatness, and that caveat is Déformation Professionnelle. Déformation Professionnelle is a simple concept. It's the danger of looking at something from one's own profession, or what I think more modernly fits, the danger of looking at something from one's own bubble instead of looking at something from a broader point of view. I'd like to set up this video with an analogy. Imagine if overnight soccer football became the most important thing on the planet, and it became really important to stay on top of. Even though you've been very aware of football and its popularity for decades, and every once in a while you even learn something new about football, you know very little about it as a whole. Meaning, to get up to date with it, you'd have to learn about the current state of football, the history of football, where football is headed, not to mention the game of soccer football itself, the players, the owners, etc., as well as how all this new information relates to your past, present, and future life, in order to effectively contribute to the future of football. I believe this analogy is essentially what we're living in these days. Lots of us don't know much about politics, but all of a sudden it's becoming very important to stay on top of. And now we all have so much catching up to do in order to effectively contribute to the future of politics that it's hard to escape Déformation Professionnelle. If you go back as soon as 2015, most people will tell you that they don't care about politics, and due to that, US politics has been able to evolve largely without a consensus from its people. Most don't even understand the roles of some of the most basic systems, agencies, and terms used, but they could tell you everything that's good and bad for them and the bubble that they live in with amazing detail. And this is where the danger of Déformation Professionnelle comes into play. You see, US politics can't favor a small group of bubbles because the US population is made up of many bubbles. Someone, one, or a group believes that they understand what's good or bad for all, but aren't aware that they're actually speaking for those within their own bubble. It creates a serious disconnect between them and some of the other bubbles out there, which I believe is at the core of this divide in our nation. I guess the point of this video really is just to highlight an issue that I think can help us all. I think it's really important to understand that it's next to impossible to be so certain on what all these rapid changes means for all of us, especially when most are only in it to benefit themselves and those that are within their bubble. But again, if there's one thing that I believe can help soothe all this political madness, it'd be simply to, at times, just admit that you just don't know. Open up an ear to those who you know definitely do know, and even open up an ear to those who don't agree with you, and try to escape Déformation Professionnelle.
Yo, what's going on? Remember to always feed your curiosity, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know that right now it's kind of like really volatile times with politics, and you might be losing friends and X, Y, and Z over this stuff, but this is kind of like my collective thoughts at the moment. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And if you are subscribed, consider re-subscribing. I don't know if that does anything or not, but I don't know. Just try it. Let's see what happens. Maybe it might help. Make sure that you follow me on Twitter if you're not already, at Steph Stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.